Here's a real-life inspired scary story. The Vanishing Man. On the highway late one winter night, Sarah was driving home from her sister's house, a 2-hour trip along a mostly empty highway surrounded by dense woods. It was snowing lightly, and the dim light of her car's headlights barely cut through the dark. She was about halfway home when she noticed a figure standing by the side of the road, waving. It was a man, soaked from head to toe, dressed in an old, tattered coat. He looked cold and desperate. Feeling uneasy but unable to ignore him, Sarah slowed her car and rolled down the window slightly. "Are you okay?" she asked. The man leaned in, his face gaunt and pale. "I need a ride," he said in a raspy voice. Something about him felt off, but Sarah didn't want to leave him stranded in the freezing cold. Against her better judgment, she unlocked the door and let him in. He sat silently in the passenger seat, staring straight ahead, his breath fogging up the window. As they drove, Sarah tried to make conversation, but the man gave only short, vague answers. Then, about 15 minutes later, he spoke abruptly. "Stop here." They were in the middle of nowhere, just woods and snow. Sarah hesitated, but he insisted. "This is where I need to go." She pulled over reluctantly, her unease growing. The man stepped out without a word and started walking toward the trees. Sarah watched him until he disappeared into the darkness. Shaken, she drove off, but something gnawed at her. Who would want to be left in a forest at night? She decided to turn back and check on him. However, when she reached the spot, there was no sign of the man, only untouched snow covering the road and the tree line. Confused and terrified, Sarah continued home. She later learned from local news that 20 years ago, a man had been killed in a car accident along that stretch of highway. Every winter since then, drivers had reported seeing his ghost, always soaking wet, always asking for a ride. Would you have stopped for him? Let us know in the comment section.